Hello, and welcome to a new map that we're going to play on for a wee bit. Now, I don't think this will be a long running series like all my Irish maps are, but it's something a bit different, and I blame Fury Machine Gaming for it. And the reason I blame him for it is that Fury, aka myself, are doing a series at the moment on Arley Farm. My version of it's called the Three Farmer Tiers. We've all got different names for our versions of it. But Fury said that he might do the same thing with another map and get us to play on it, a map of his choosing. And so I thought, well, what would Fury choose? Because if he wants to do that, I'd certainly do it. I wouldn't decline it. But I thought, well, he'd probably choose an American map. And hopefully, if he does choose to do it, he won't choose a map that's completely flat and featureless, because that would just bore me stupid. So at least a map with some features. And it got me having a bit of an inkling for wanting to do an American map and just do some bigger equipment for once. So I downloaded a few American maps and tried them out, and I got down to a choice of two. One set in Minnesota and one set in Missouri. Now, the funny thing is, because I was thinking at first that I should do one that's based on one of the states that one of my friends is in, but the problem is I've got three good friends in the States, and all three of them live in completely different states, miles away from each other. So one is at the very southeast of the northern United States, one is at the northeast, and the other one's at the northwest. So they're all a long way away from each other. So I thought, I looked around. As I said, I came down to a choice of two maps in the end, Minnesota or Missouri. So I thought about it, and I did a bit of a Google search. I realised that Minnesota has two seasons. It has winter, and it has July the 7th. That's the two seasons that Minnesota has. I'm not really a big fan of the cold weather, despite the fact that Switzerland is on my my bucket list of countries I'd like to visit one day. So we're farming on Missouri. This map is called Alma, Missouri, and it's available on the Giants website. So I thought in this episode, we're not starting on the start farm that you're meant to start on though, because I like this farm better. So I'll give you a quick squiz of the map. In fact, we go up here. So there's the map. Up here is a road that goes through Alma, the closest town. Along here is a road, and this one down here and this one across here are both gravel tracks rather than roads, albeit fairly wide gravel tracks. Now, I will show you what land I'm starting with. Ignore this blue blob down here. That's one of the lands you're meant to start with, and I didn't want to take all the placeables off it because otherwise it leaves the whole farmyard looking yuck. I wanted all the buildings in it still, so we're just going to pretend that we don't own this blue bit down the bottom here. So what we own is almost across the whole top and a big wedge bit here. So that's what we own at the moment to start with, and our farm itself is just this corner here. So now we're going to have a look at a wee bit of the equipment I've got to start with. Okay, so these two trucks do fit in the shed, but boy, they were tight fits. You wouldn't be able to see them properly if I put them away. So this is a Chevy square body, I think they're called, I believe. So it's probably actually a K10, I think it is. A K10 or a C10, depending on whether it's a Chevrolet or a GMC. And this one's diesel powered, so it'd probably be a GMC rather than Chevy, in fact. But yeah, they get called square bodies. And then we also have a Dodge Ram. Okay, both just little tiny trucks, because it's such a tiny little farm, this one. Now, I've looked around most of this map. I haven't found a single hedgerow anywhere on it yet. So I'm pretty sure there's no hedgerows on this map. Okay, so the reason we have two trucks is because we have two combine harvesters. And I find it's a lot easier to tow a header trailer on the back of a truck than it is towed on the back of a combine generally. So hence why we have two trucks. Now this is not a dairy farm, it's a grain farm, so we have grain silo here. 4 decent sized silos. And over here we keep our little baby tractors in this shed. So I'll show you. So this is the smallest tractor we have. Yes, I kid you not, there's the smallest tractor that we have. I've actually got the life size mod loaded, so it makes me a bit shorter than what you are naturally in the game, because you're just too tall in the game naturally. And then there's 2 other tractors over here as well. So they're all John Deere 9, is it called 9 series, or I think it's called 9 series. This is an RX, I think. Oh no, that one's an RX, sorry, with the tracks on it. That one's the R, and this one's an RT. Okay. I chose John Deere because I never use John Deere, because to me they always look American. Because I don't farm on American maps generally, I don't choose John Deere tractors. But since we are on an American map, I thought we could use John Deere. Okay, so that's the tractors that we're starting with. 3 9 series John Deeres, all different from each other. Over in this shed here we have our sprayer. Now I forgot to check when I bought this whether it does weed spraying as well as fertiliser or not, so hopefully it does both. But that's our little sprayer. Then I'll just close that shed door again. That's our seeder there. Over here we have 2 combine harvesters, both the same as each other. Now I've done a big map once before, and I've tried using multiple combine harvesters using the follow me mod, and what you do is you drive one combine yourself, then you have the second one following 15 feet behind you and 15 feet to the left, and you can even have a third one 15 feet behind the second one and 15 feet to the left of the second one again. The problem is that when you're using the follow me mod like that, you tend to spend so much time taking over from the hired worker, going over and killing the hired worker because of the stupid things they do, and then getting the combine back to where it's meant to be, then hiring another hired worker, and you spend so much time doing that. Well, apart from anything else, you end up killing so many hired workers that you then have trouble finding workers that want to come and work for you. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to try something a bit different with these 2 combines. What I'm going to do when I do the fields is I'm going to go and do a couple of circuits, 2 or 3 circuits around the field first to get a good bit of field between the crops and the edge of the field sort of thing. Then I thought I'd hire a worker to start work at one end of the field, and I'll start working at the other one, and the theory is we'll meet in the middle, and if the worker mucks up and misses any bits or anything, I'll just go and get those bits afterwards. So that's what we're going to try, see if that works. That might work better than the follow me mod, I think. So I've never tried the follow me mod in FS22. To be fair, the last time I played an American map, it was a online game, and it was hosted by Eustace Pharmer, and it had Driver, Farmer Craig, and I think if my memory serves me correctly, Farmer Craig's sister on it as well. So there were 5 of us on this online map hosted by Eustace Pharmer. I'm pretty sure it was Driver, Farmer Craig's sister, but it could have been Driver's sister, but I think it was Farmer Craig's sister. Eustace, of course, and myself. Now this is our grain truck. So just a little small grain truck. It's got double trailers on the back. If I find that too hard to manoeuvre, then I might sell it and buy one with just one bigger trailer, but I want to try the double trailers. I should be able to handle those. Now, because you can't drive a truck this big and heavy into a field to empty a combine harvester, it would surely sink into the field if you tried it. So I've also got a grain cart. So my plan is, because all my fields have one side of them is next to a road, so I plan to park the truck here on the side of the road and then use one of the tractors attached to this grain cart to collect the crops from the harvesters and bring them over to the truck parked on the road beside the field. And there's our subsoiler. So that's the vehicles that we've got on our farm, and I'll just give you a quick look-see around some of the map. Probably won't cover it all right now, but we'll take the old Chevy because I like that, it's got the cow horns on it. And let's just go for a short bit of a drive. And wouldn't you know it, I did remember to start my timer this time, but I forgot to turn my steering wheel on before we started, so you're about to get that come up. I'm sorry about that. That's just to tell me that I've just turned the steering wheel on. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if any of you have seen this map before. I really don't know whether other people that do American maps find this, play this map or not. I don't know how popular this one is, but I had a look at it and I thought it looked quite good. So, one of the gravel roads right now, coming out onto, there doesn't seem to be any traffic on the gravel roads, but there is traffic on this road here. So just check both ways. Oh, yep, we're okay. Come out. So of course we own the fields on both sides of this road. So one of the reasons I chose this map is, although it's flat-ish, there's no big hills on it, it's not completely flat. Like you'll see drainage ditches down beside a lot of the fields and things like that. So it does have a wee bit of a challenge to it still. A field that's just a map that's just completely flat, I find has no challenge to work it. So I want something that's going to present me with a wee bit of a challenge, hence why I chose this field here. As you can see, this truck's blowing some pretty black smoke there, so I should probably get that engine looked at some point. You'll notice that we're actually outrunning how quickly it can put the grass texture there, so you can, if you look in the distance, you can see the grass texture racing ahead of us. That's one of the downsides of a map that's so wide open, I suppose. Same with the crops. If you look on that field on the right there, you can see the crop texture racing ahead of us. Now, if we turn, actually I want to come up here and turn left first. I haven't looked at this road. I don't know what, if anything, is up here. I know this is right on the edge of the map, but it's just a house from the looks of things. Okay, so right. Now, I'm going to take you into Alma to show you Alma. As I said, Alma is the town that's closest to us, but I'm pretty sure this is only a 1 times map, or standard size map, so 2x2, or whatever the standard size is. I think it's 2x2 is the standard. So, it's not too big, but our farm is basically as far away from the town as it possibly could be. So the town's in one corner and where my farm is in the diagonal opposite corner. We head down here and we'll find Alma just a bit further down here. So hopefully none of you got too big a fright seeing this map appear for one of my videos. You're probably thinking, I've tuned into the wrong person, thinking big American map. That wouldn't be what you've ever seen me play on before. But see this town, I quite like it. You can't go too far down any of these roads because again they're right on the edge of the map. But it's a nice bit of suburbs out here with all the housing and things. And then a bit further on, I'm not sure, this building here, I'm wondering if that's actually meant to be a church. Let's just go and explore it for a second. Let's have a look in here, see if there's a sign there or something. What's that sign say? I don't know, tomato ketchup. No, that won't be a church, and that'll be a factory. What that'll be. I was sort of thinking it looked a bit like a church, but I couldn't see a cross on it. I haven't actually seen a church on this map yet then, and I've always thought that American maps tended to oh, it's on the wrong side of the road then, tend to have a church on them. So, not sure, maybe this one doesn't have one. And then when we get along here a bit further, that's a flat area, or flattish area, where you could build something if you wanted to, have a building that was in the town sort of thing. That, I believe, is probably the fire station. There's another building here. This is the livestock area. Okay, and there's a railway crossing here, and as we're going to see, it does have working trains. The barrier seems to stay down for quite a long time after the train's gone past. So I suppose we could sneak around it, but we won't. We'll just wait. The first time I got to the railway crossing when a train came along, I wondered whether the second train was coming from the other direction, just because the barrier stayed down for so long, but they eventually went up. So I'd rather like this road. It's sort of like we're in the town of Alma itself now, but as you can see, the road's very, very wide. There's lots of space. There's diners here, and a bakery there, and just lots of different stuff like that. If we turn up, I believe it's here. Where are we? So I was using my indicator button on Trucking Simulation, and it wasn't working my indicators. Funny that. I'm up here is the dealer's yard here. So when you buy a new vehicle, it appears here. Just go back down to the main street, I think. I think also, there's actually like 3 blocks of streets you can drive around in the actual town itself, as you can see. So the town's only 3 blocks deep. In some places it's less than that. It really is right on the edge of the map. Oh, I'm alongside the road again. So I'm so used to driving on the left. Oops. Because of course, in New Zealand we drive on the left. In England and Ireland, which are all the maps I play, we always drive on the left. Oh, this truck's so wide because this one's got the double wheels on the back. I keep on knocking the end of it. So, well, maybe that's a church. No, that doesn't look like a church. I don't know. There probably isn't a church on this map. But I do like to look at this map. I might put a church on it because I like having churches on the maps I play on. I think, from memory, is this the other road? No, it's not. And that is a road, but it's not the one I was looking for. So I do quite like this town. It's, a wee bit spread out. It's not all just too cluttered together. It's a bit spread out, so it looks nice. There's also 3 farms on this map that I found. There's this one here, right there on the corner. Oh, actually, that might be part of the first farm. So maybe there's only 2 farms on this map. So, this is the track I'm after, up here. So, this farm up here, is it? No, there are 3 farms. So there's this one here, which is a red farm. Okay. So I was right the first time. And you can see on the right hand side of us now, there's quite a decent sized drainage ditch along there and things. So, this map's not completely flat and featureless. If we come along here further. Up at the end of this gravel road, or just before the end of it, is the second farm. It's also the farm that's meant to be the start farm on this game, but as I said, we're not using this to start farm. Yep, here's the farm here that you're meant to start at. And it's kind of like, it's got a lot of, it's got red buildings, it's got green buildings, but the yard's just so spread out. I just wanted something a wee bit more compact than that. Now, I must admit, I find it quite funny when we come along here, where that sign was just passed. So back up for a moment. So here, if you pop out to have a look, you see that sign there says narrow bridge. So I put the torch on so you can see it better. I sort of thought, so you have a sign warning you that it's a narrow bridge, and this is the bridge they're talking about. Well, here's my big, you know, extra wide ute. I could quite easily pass two of these on the bridge side by side. So not exactly what I would have considered a narrow bridge, but I suppose it was narrower than the rest of the road. Get up here further, and if we turn here, this track here will take us back to our farm. So to get to town, we can either go down these gravel tracks or we can take the roads. And if we're taking a truck like this, then we'll take the roads. But if I need to take a tractor or a combine harvester to town for repairs, we might end up taking a gravel track instead because they're a bit slower. And up here, we should in a minute get back to our farm again. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a standard size map because, as you can see, we've just successfully driven over around the whole map, all of the edges of it, and we're now back home at our place. So, as I said, American farming isn't normally my thing, so I don't know how long I'll stick with this one for. I might only do a couple of episodes, I might do a few more. If people particularly want to see me do some American farming, then yell out that you'd like to. Otherwise I'll just do it for as long as I feel like and then go back to my little Irish and English maps again. Okay, so let's see, we're at 22 minutes long now. I've shown you around the map and around my farm and shown you my farm equipment, so we might call that up for now because I don't think any of my fields are quite ready to do anything with yet. So thank you very much for tuning in, and hope you didn't have a heart attack when you saw a big American map and me farming it. Okay, thank you all. Good night.